Welcome to the Comedy MX Classic Comedy Channel. Classic as in Laurel and Hardy, Our Gang, Buster Keaton, and Charlie Chaplin.
Thank you, boys. Where you be when I need you?
Right here.
Okay.
I told you not to make that last payment.
Laugh Out Loud Comedy, as in cartoons, TV shows, features galore, or the campy giant claw. Chuckle and guffaw the night away as you binge watch CMX Classic Comedies.
Yes? Come in, Freddie.
I got your message to come right over. What's up, Mr. Albright?
I want to talk to you about Margie and that newspaper fellow.
Well, I don't want to talk about him. I want to break his neck. I haven't had one single date with Margie since you met him. But why are you so concerned, Mr. Albright?
Why? Because she almost caused me to lose one of my biggest accounts, Mrs. Stegmuller. She went to the woman's house to interview an Arabian prince who was staying there.
Well, I don't see how that could have caused you any trouble.
I'll tell you how. One, the butler wouldn't let her in. Two, Margie climbed up a vine and entered through an upstairs window. Three, Mrs. Stegmuller mistook her for a burglar and almost had a heart attack. Four, the Arabian prince nearly shot the butler. Five, the butler, unaccustomed to being shot at, fell down the stairs and broke his clavicle and is now suing Mrs. Stegmuller for $50,000.
Isn't that just like Margie? She climbs up the side of a house, and some poor guy inside, minding his own business, gets his clavicle broken.
I haven't told Mr. Honeywell yet, so if he should come in here, we're talking business.
Okay. Now, we'll never get Margie off this reporter kick as long as she's stuck on that guy. So the first thing we've got to do is break them up.
Right. But how are we going to do it?
I'm sorry, Margie, but this just isn't news.
What do you mean? A 4-year-old boy gets stung by a bee. His mother frantic. Tears, excitement. It's human interest, and people go for human interest stories.
Look at Margie. The best example I can give you is as old as a mountain. Dog bites man, no story. But man bites dog, that is the story.
You mean something really unusual.
That's the idea. Now, what about tonight?
Our date?
Yeah.
Oh, not tonight, Don. I'm going to concentrate on getting a story.
Crying out loud, Margie, we're supposed to go dancing tonight.
Well, I'm sorry to make you unhappy, Don, but if I'm going to be a reporter, I've got to get a story. Besides, I bought a whole gross of pencils. 144 pencils, and I sharpened every darn one of them.
Okay, that's the way you want it.
I'll get you a story. An unusual one, you'll see.
Wait, just a minute.
I'll be surprised if it means anything, but let's hear it.
All right.
Oh, it's old Honeywell. Remember, we're discussing business. Yes, Mr. Honeywell?
Here's all the dope on the McAllister deal.
Oh, fine. Thanks, Mr. Honeywell.
And remember, he'll be here in a day or two, and I want everything all set to go. We want that account.
Right.
Yeah. Since when have you two become so chummy?
Oh, it's just a business discussion, Mr. Honeywell.
What kind of a business?
I'll tell you, Mr. Honeywell, I sort of bumped into a fella who owns a uranium mine, and I thought maybe your company would like to talk business with him.
Uranium?
Well, it isn't much of a mine, just 3 or 4 acres.
3 or 4 acres of uranium? Boy, how'd you like to have lunch with me today?
No, thank you, sir. I have a couple of sandwiches down in my glove compartment.
Well, that's good. A 4-acre uranium deal, and he's got 2 sandwiches down in his glove compartment.
One of them ham and one tuna. And a day-old coffee cake.
Well, that's wonderful. Let me know how you make out.
You nitwit. Do you know what that money-mad old goat will do? He'll drive me crazy about that uranium mine. Uranium.
Sorry, Mr. Albright.
Oh, forget about it. Forget it. Now, what's your idea about Margie?
Well, supposing Margie gets a pip of a story. Only when Don Hadley, boy reporter, shows up, there is no story. I think he'd be pretty sore.
Yeah, a story but no story. Sure, that would make any reporter sore. But how do we do it?
Where's your phone book?
Hurry up. We gotta move fast.
Hello, Don. Tell the man who bit the dog to move over. I just walked out into the corridor of our apartment building and saw a horse.
A horse? Look, Margie, if you're on the level, you got yourself a Lulu. A horse on the 10th floor of a New York apartment house. Wow. Well, look, Margie, how did he get there?
Don't ask me. I don't know how it got up here, but I bet there's a heck of a story behind it. You'd better bring a photographer with you to get some pictures.
Well, look, you stay right there. We'll be right over.
Right. I'll go out and keep an eye on it. Horsey, horsey?
Margie. Well, where's the horse?
Don, I can't find it. But I give you my word it was there. Right down there.
Uh-huh.
Don, you've got to believe me. I saw it. It was big. A real big horse.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Yes, there was something else. It was wearing a paper party hat.
Oh, that's it. Let's get out of here. Look, I told my city editor about this. What do you think he's going to say when I tell him I haven't got any pictures because apparently the horse had gone to a party?
I saw a horse right down there.
Margie, look, this is a job I have, not a hobby. So let's stop playing games. Come on.
I know. Come on, let's hurry.
So I just made it up, huh?
What's the matter with you?
Don, it was right here. Right here.
I tell you what, if he comes back, put him in the bathtub. It's always nice to have an extra plug.
Put him in the freight elevator, all ready to take down.
I saw a horse. I saw a horse.
Oh, I see. A sawhorse.
No, I wouldn't make up anything like this.
Look, Margie, the first time was bad enough, but calling us all the way back up here, let's forget everything. This has been pretty ridiculous. Come on.
But I tell you, I saw a horse. Oh, I Oh, Margie will never figure out what really happened.
I'll bet you'll never try to be a reporter again.
Well, we've both accomplished what we wanted, Mr. Albright. Don Hadley's out of Margie's life, and Margie's out of your hair.
Your father and that Wilson guy I met that time, huh?
That's right. Apologize.
Well, I apologize, Margie, but that's not all. Somebody's going to pay for this for making me look like a sap.
I'm way ahead of you. Hey, where's that photographer friend of yours?
Bob. Oh, the horsewoman.
Tell me, Bob, how do you look in false whiskers?
Well,
What are you doing here?
Mr. Albright, I'm here to have an understanding. I want your daughter to stop bothering me.
That suits me. Come on in. Oh, Margie! Margie! Well, she's usually home about this time. I don't understand. Oh, there she is. Hi, honey. Didn't you hear me call? Margie, what's the matter? Margie, honey, Margie.
I saw a horse, but there was no horse. I saw a horse, but there was no horse.
Oh, no, honey. Honey, believe me. It's all right. Believe me.
Well, it started this afternoon, Mr. Albright. Happened twice. She called me, told me there was a horse in the corridor, and then she said it was in here.
Oh, I can explain. There really was a horse.
Mr. Albright, please. Don't confuse her anymore. She's had too much of a shock already.
But, Don, there really was a horse. Freddie and I did it as a gag.
A gag? Mr. Albright, do you realize what you've done to this little girl?
Oh, Margie, honey, speak to me. I love you, honey. I didn't mean any harm.
I saw a horse, but there was no horse.
I'll call a doctor.
Wait, she needs a psychiatrist. I know of one of the best. Wrote a story on him some time ago.
Wonderful, wonderful. Call him right away. Baby, what have I done?
Hello? Dr. Rettinger? Glad I caught you before you left the office. This is Don Hadley. Look, I want you to come over to...
You're coming in loud and clear, son. I'll be right over.
Well, doctor.
Cerebral hallucination, a mental block, a fixation of the retentive tract. In other words, Mr. Albright, being absolutely certain she has seen the horse and being unable to prove it has been much too much for her.
Doctor, can't you do something?
I've had similar cases before. If you follow my instructions, she should snap out of it in a few days.
Oh, anything, doctor. I'll do anything.
Oh, splendid, Mr. Albright. Now, this is what will happen. Shortly, she will start reliving what happened today. She will imagine she sees the horse. And when she does,
excuse me. Hello? Oh, hello, Mr. Honeywell. No, Mr. Honeywell, there's nothing new on the uranium mine. No, don't call me. I'll call you. Bye. Go on, doctor.
Well, when your daughter imagines she sees the horse, you must convince her that you see it too. This will give her confidence, and soon complete reason will return.
I'll do it, doctor. I'll do anything.
Now, it's all up to you, Mr. Albright. And remember, when she mentions the horse, you must pretend you see it too.
I understand. Thank you, doctor.
Yes, doctor. Thank you very much, sir.
Good night.
Baby, would you like a glass of water? A nice cup of tea? Can I get anything for you?
I want to see the horse.
Oh, sure, baby. I'll get him for you right away. He's right in the dining room. Oh, boy. Steady now. Margie wants to see you. A nice boy. Steady now.
Nice horsey. You see, Don? He was here all the time.
You hold him, baby. We don't want to lose him again. I don't want to impose on you, but don't leave us alone. Stay here all night, will you, please?
Oh, be glad to, Mr. Albright. Be glad.
All right.
Charlie, what is it?
It's about Miss Margie, sir. I found her out in the hall, like she was sleepwalking. She said she was looking for a horse.
Well, where is she?
I set her down in the living room.
Baby, are you all right?
Dad, I want my horse. He's gone again. I want my horsey.
Oh, no, baby, he isn't gone. He's right here. I forgot to tell you. I put him on the terrace. I'll bring him right in, baby. Nice boy, come on. Come on. Nice boy. Here he is, baby.
Something wrong with your arm, Mr. Albright?
Oh, you, Charlie, are you blind? Can't you see I'm holding Margie's horse?
Oh, mean, Daddy, his hair's a mess.
Well, it certainly is. Here, Don, you hold him.
Sure, Mr. Albright, sure. Ho, boy, ho, ho.
Look, his shoe's loose.
Well, I'll be darned. I'll have to fix it right away.
I've heard of mind snapping before, but this is an epidemic.
There. Aren't you sleepy, baby? It's after 4.
I guess so. I'll go back to bed. But you stay and currycomb my horsey.
I think I'll go to bed, too. Here, you take over.
Easy, boy. Easy, boy. Say, what's the matter with me?
Whoa, oh boy. Nice horsey. Nice horsey. Nice horsey. Whoa, oh boy. Daddy, you walk him a little while, will you?
Sure, honey. Oh, just a minute. Hello? No, there's nothing new on the uranium mine.
Oh, he looks fine, Mr. Albright. You did a good job.
Oh, sure. I'm a pretty good currycomber, all right.
I saw you, Dad. I saw you. You walked right through my horsey.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. It was an accident.
Now I know. Now I understand. It's just like yesterday. There is no horse. You're just pretending so I won't know I'm seeing things.
Oh, Don, hurry and call Dr. Rettenstein.
Yes, Mr. Albright.
You should have been more careful, Mr. Albright. Now, I'm afraid the treatment will have to be more drastic.
I'll do anything you say, Doctor.
Good. You're going to have to bring a real horse here.
You mean a real horse here?
The same one as possible. Bring him in as though he were one of the family. As though it were a perfectly normal occurrence. Nothing unusual about it.
Hi, Mr. Albright. Margie in?
You and your bright ideas. You're going to stay until this thing is over.
Oh, hi, Freddie.
Hi, Margie.
To have taken a special liking to you.
Yes, isn't that swell? I think I'll go out and stretch my legs. You go away.
I brought your laundry up, Mr. Albright.
Oh, thanks, Charlie. What's the matter, Charlie? What are you doing, Charlie?
Mr. Albright, if you promise not to tell anybody, I'll tell you the truth, sir. Last night, I couldn't see this horse.
Mr. Albright,
Yes?
I think things are coming along nicely, but just in case, I think I better stay here tonight.
Oh, yes, of course, Doctor. You and Don can have my room. Mr. Wilson and I will sleep out here. You started it, so you wake up too.
Mr. Albright, the horse has taken such a liking for you, I'm afraid he'll disturb Margie unless we let him come in.
All right, Doctor, bring him in.
Good, good. We don't want to disturb our little patient.
Nitwit. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm a lustic horse.
Well, maybe you could sing him to sleep, Mr. Albright.
Shut up. 3 a.m. Hello? No, there's nothing new on the uranium mine.
I'll get it.
You'll like Albright, Mr. McAllister. You'll know at a glance he's just the man to handle your account.
I'm anxious to meet him, Mr. Honeywell.
Mr. Honeywell.
Hello, Wilson. This is Mr. McAllister.
Mr. McAllister? Mr. Albright's new client?
That's right, Wilson. Where is Albright?
Wait, just a minute. Stay right here. Have a seat. I'll get him. Mr. Albright, it's your new client, Mr. McAllister.
Mr. McAllister? He can't see me having breakfast with a horse.
Sam, I don't want to cause you any real trouble. This was all a little gag. There's really nothing wrong with me.
What? A gag? Well, young lady, you listen to me. I'm going to... Well, I'll deal with you later.
I think you'd better leave.
That's what you advise. I'll...
Hello, Margie.
Hello, Mr. Honeywell.
McAllister, this is Albright's daughter, Margie. How do you do, Miss Albright?
How do you do, Mr. McAllister? Well, please sit down and go right ahead with your business. I'm used to it.
Fine. I tell you what, Albright. I'll show you a breakdown of the deal as I see it.
Oh, swell, Mr. McAllister.
There's something I feel you want to know. I'd want to know about it if this were my home.
What is it, Mr. McAllister?
There's a horse standing behind you.
You were supposed to stay in the dining room.
In the dining room? You knew the horse was in this apartment?
Oh, you'll have to excuse him, Mr. McAllister. He wasn't supposed to come in here. He was supposed to stay in the dining room.
Yes, he was having breakfast.
Breakfast?
You see, my daughter and I are just crazy about horses.
You're crazy, all right.
Just a minute. Let me explain.
Goodbye. McAllister, wait. Albright, you're fired. McAllister, wait. Why should we worry about him? Why should I get mad at you just because that small fry walked out?
You mean you're not sore? I'm not fired?
Why, do you think I'm crazy? After all, you got that big uranium deal coming up.
My little Margie. I've been both mother and father to her since she was born. She's grown up now, and you think my job is all done, eh? Well, that's what you think. When she was little, I could spank her and make her mind me. I had control over her. I made her eat her spinach, no candy before meals. And when she disobeyed, I took her roller skates away for a week. But what can you do when a girl reaches this age? She's completely out of hand. I've got a problem, believe me. I've got a problem.
That's my father. I've raised him from childhood. That is, my childhood. He's nearly 50 now, and you'd think he'd settle down, wouldn't you? Well, that's what you think. Today, he looks better in shorts on a tennis court than fellas 25. Girls wink at him, and what's worse, he winks back at them. I want a nice, old, comfortable father. I try to look after him, but he just won't settle down. I've got a problem, believe me. I've got a problem.
Good morning, Mr. Honeywell.
What is all this?
This, my dear Mr. Honeywell, is what will make you say, good thinking, Albright, good thinking.
Bird calls. Albright, have you gone crazy?
Now, here it is, point number one. We're trying to make a deal with Mr. and Mrs. Lamont P. Hartford. Check?
Check.
We've never met them. Check?
Check.
But we've done a lot of research on them, right?
Right.
And they're both very eccentric. Check?
Check and loaded with lucre. Check.
Check. And now Mrs. Hartford, she's a bird fancier, crazy about birds, right?
Check. I mean right.
So I've been boning up on birds. Now, that's the mating call of the Australian web-footed whangdoo.
Whangdoo, all right.
And now Mr. Hartford, he's a physical culture bug, exercising, health foods, and yogurt, wheat germ, blackstrap molasses.
In other words, until the deal is closed, you're an authority on birds and mussels. Check.
Check.
Good thinking, all right. Good thinking.
Well, actually, this part of it may do me some good.
Exercising won't hurt anybody. Oh, how about your new insurance policy? Doctor's pass you yet?
No, he wants me to cut down on my food, walk home from the office, no more cocktails, lose a little around here. Sometimes I wonder if it's worth it.
Insurance is always worth it. A good way of saving money, and that's sound economy. Economy is efficiency. Efficiency is economy. That's what I always say, don't you?
Well, I don't say it all the time.
For instance, right in this office, take our waste baskets. Do you know what I found in one of them today?
A web-footed wang-do?
I'm serious, all right. I found this. A perfectly good paper clip. Thrown away. Why, it makes me furious.
Unforgivable. Unforgivable. Yes. Put him on. Chicago, it's Whitlock. Hello? Hello, Ed? Yes. Holy smoke, that was a close one for us. Yes, he's right here. Okay, I'll tell him. Thanks for calling. Goodbye. The amalgamated merchandising deal. I got us out just in time. They're folding.
Good thinking, all right. Good thinking. You saved us $600,000.
Hi, Margie.
You're home early. It's only 3:30. Don't you feel well?
I'm a little beat. The walk home tired me out.
You walked home? You always take a cab.
No more. From now on, cabs are out.
I'll make you a cocktail. That'll perk you up.
No thanks, baby. No more cocktails for me. I'm cutting them entirely out.
I'll start dinner.
None for me, thanks. I'm going to skip a meal every once in a while. Good for me, you know.
Freddie.
Margie, I came as soon as I heard the terrible news. I had to be near you in your hour of disaster.
What disaster?
Well, it's here in the paper, hasn't he told you?
Hasn't he told me what?
Your father, Amalgamated Merchandising, they've gone bankrupt. Why, he had a lot of money in it. He's probably wiped out.
Dad wiped out?
Is he home?
Yes, but he didn't say anything about being broke.
Well, it's not the sort of thing a man would want his daughter to know.
Now I'm beginning to understand a few things. Cabs cost money, so he walked home. He wouldn't have a cocktail. He doesn't want any dinner. Freddie, he must be really broke if he thinks we can't even afford food.
Margie, I know your father doesn't exactly like me, but regardless of his feelings toward me, I want you to know that as long as I have a crust of bread, he's not going hungry.
Are you here again?
Chin up, old man. You see, he doesn't want to talk about it in front of you.
Margie?
Yes, Dad?
The Journal of the Doberman Pinschers Breeders Association. Do you read this?
No, you do.
I do not.
You don't?
No. Who subscribed to it?
I don't know. Every year they send us a renewal form. I make out a check and you sign it. We do that with a lot of magazines.
Margie, this sort of waste has got to stop.
I understand, Dad.
A home should be run like a business. Economy is efficiency, and efficiency is economy. That's what I always say.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Albright. Why, people don't realize that money can be here today and gone tomorrow.
Why, Freddie, that's actually an intelligent statement.
Thank you, sir.
If anybody had told me that you said that, I wouldn't have believed them.
You're welcome, sir.
You know how much I love you. You can tell me the truth. Why'd you walk home? Why won't you eat any dinner?
I want to get a little of this off around here.
Oh. I'll get it.
Oh, Margie, Freddie, I just had the most wonderful cry. I brought it over to play for you. Johnny Ray's latest platter, a barrel full of teardrops. I know you, don't look like you're in the mood for jokes. What's the matter, honey?
It's her father, Mrs. Odetts.
Land's sake, is he sick?
It's worse than that, Mrs. Odetts. Dad's been... Dad's been wiped out in the stock market.
Please don't say anything. He doesn't want anyone to know.
Oh, honey, that's too bad. But maybe I can cheer you up. In 1929, my father-in-law lost everything in the crash. I'll never forget it. I was in the corner drugstore weighing myself. I weighed 105 then. And my girlfriend, Ethel, she lives in Detroit now. She came running in with the news. My father-in-law had jumped out the window.
Jumped out of a window? Oh, Freddie, we're 10 floors up.
Please, Mrs. Odetts, you're not cheering her up.
What? Let me finish. There's a happy ending. The thing I'll always remember about my father-in-law is his presence of mind. On the way up to the 39th floor, that's where he jumped from. But I always said he could have gotten the same results without going up so high. Anyway, on the way up, he stopped in the insurance office and tripled his life insurance. Wasn't that nice?
In a gruesome sort of way.
Oh, I never thought of it like that. Lots of them would jump in. It was a sort of a fad, like the Charleston. Now, you cheer up, honey. Ah, the Charleston.
Honey, stop thinking what you're thinking. Your father wouldn't do anything like that.
Oh, this darn awning is stuck again. What's the matter with you?
We thought you were going to fall.
That awning's been stuck before, I fixed it before, and I've never fallen. I'm going out. I'll see you later.
Where to, Dad?
I have an appointment with my insurance broker. When I go, Margie, I'll leave you well taken care of because obviously you're going to need it.
Don't worry, Mr. Albright. I'll take care of your little girl, and someday we'll all be together again.
Freddie, what are we going to do? We stopped him just in time.
Margie, the awning really was stuck.
Oh, that was just an excuse. That awning's always getting stuck. He knows it, and he knows I know it.
But, honey, a man doesn't do what you're thinking unless he's really off his rocker.
But losing all his money, that could knock him off his rocker. I tell you, Freddie, we've got to do something. He just isn't acting like himself.
Hey, I know a guy who could tell us.
Tell us what?
If your father's really off his rocker. Professor Nelson, I had him in college. He's an expert on this psychology stuff. He used me in a mental experiment once, put me in a room with a trained orangutan. We played 5 games of checkers. I won 3 out of 5.
You think we can see him now, right away?
Oh, I don't see why not. I'll give him a ring.
What you've told me will be extremely helpful, of course, but naturally I must observe Mr. Albright himself before I can draw any definite conclusions.
Oh, but, Professor, I can't ask him to come here.
I wouldn't want you to. I must observe him without his knowing who I am. Will you be home tomorrow afternoon, Miss Albright?
If you want me to.
Suppose I meet you at your apartment at 4 o'clock before your father gets home. When he does, I'll be just plain Mr. Nelson. I'll think of some excuse to explain my being there.
No, Professor, I don't know how to thank you.
Try not to worry too much. It may not be as bad as you think.
Oh, I hope not. May we look at your phone book, please?
I'll get it for you.
Now what?
We've got to look up a good, fast rental agency.
What are we renting?
The apartment. We can't afford to keep an expensive place like that any longer. I'm going to sublet it to the first person the agency sends around.
But, Margie, without even telling your father?
He's got enough on his poor mind. He'll be proud of me for handling this all by myself. I'll get us a little place, maybe just 4 walls and a roof over our heads. We'll make out somehow. Somehow. We'll hear from the rental agency.
Well, give them time. They've only had since this morning.
I'm just anxious to get it over with, I guess. I haven't checked in 15 minutes.
Yes?
Dad, how are you? Are you all right?
Listen, Margie, for the 50th, 60th, or is it the 170th time today, I'm all right.
Well, that's good. But just a minute, Dad. Freddie, at a time like this, a man needs all the encouragement he can get. To know people are on his side, pulling for him. Say something to him.
Hello, old-timer. This is Freddie. I just want you to know that I have $82 saved up in my Christmas fund, and you can have it. You want it, Margie. Too proud, I guess.
That's the way he is. He'll probably never admit he's penniless. Even when we're living in a one-room walk-up.
Margie.
What is it, Freddie?
You know I don't make very much money.
I know.
That's why I felt I could never ask you to marry me, but things are different now.
Why, Freddie, you're proposing.
Yes. I think I can finally say that I can promise to support you in a manner to which you're going to have to become accustomed.
Oh, that's sweet, Freddie, but I couldn't. Dad needs me now more than ever before.
Well, he could come and live with us. And then after a while, he might even let me come and live with us.
You understand, dear. I've got to get him straightened out first. Miss Albright? Yes? We'd like to see the apartment the rental agency sent us. Oh, yes, come in. This is Mr. Wilson. Your name is...
Wait a minute. I've seen you 1,000,000 times on television. You're Luscious Lou, the famous wrestler.
The very famous wrestler.
I'm Mrs. Luscious Lou.
How do you do? Glad to know you.
Glad to know you.
This is the den. It's in an awful mess we're packing. Let me show you the living room.
And said Lamont P. Hartford Biscuit Company hereby agrees that Honeywell and Todd, for value received, shall...
All right. I've got it. Yeah, get over to your apartment right away.
My apartment?
They're on their way up there right now.
Who's on their way?
Lamont P. Hartford and his wife. They phoned up from the depot. They're on their way up to your apartment right now.
My apartment? What are they going up there for?
They're going to stay there. I told them it was all right. Anything to put a deal over. That's what I always say.
Well, you're awfully free with my apartment. That's what I always say.
Now, hurry on over there and get this side.
Okay.
Well, I put this thing.
On the service porch.
Wait, I'll give you some help. There you are. You're welcome.
Excuse me. Oh, Professor, come in.
Your father home?
Not yet, but the new tenants are here. Will that complicate things for you when Dad comes?
I don't think so. Not if they'll cooperate.
Professor Nelson, this is Mrs. Lou and her husband, Luscious Lou, the famous wrestler.
The very famous wrestler.
How do you do? I'm here to observe Miss Albright's father.
Yes, I've told him about him.
Poor man. I guess anybody'd go berserk after losing all that money.
What does berserk mean, baby doll?
Nuts, honey.
Naturally, he mustn't know why I'm here. Let's say that I'm a business associate of yours and just Mr. Nelson, not Professor.
We understand.
And this is most important. Whatever Mr. Albright says or does, anything at all, we've got to humor him. Now, don't contradict him under any circumstances.
What does contradict mean, baby doll?
Nuts, honey.
Here's my father now.
Oh, you're here already. I'm Vern Albright.
Dad, this is Mr. and Mrs.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. I'd know him in a minute. I've been building up such a mental picture of you that I recognized you the minute I came in the room. Glad to meet you, Mr. Hartford.
Dad!
Your daughter wanted to introduce me, Mr. Albright. I'm Mr. Nelson, an associate of his.
Oh, very happy to meet you, too. Sit down, folks. And now, Mrs. Hartford, listen to this. Can you place it? Oh, gotcha, eh? The white-headed razorback zingy. Boy, from the zingy. Margie, run out to the kitchen and get me 5 spoons.
5 spoons?
That's right.
Most extraordinary case. Do everything he says.
Everything?
To the letter.
You said run out to the kitchen?
Yes. Crazy kid. I wouldn't be without this for a minute.
Oh, good for you.
And I've got something for you, too. You'll just love this. Isn't it wonderful?
Here.
Oh, thanks, honey. Now listen to this. It's the next one. Wang Do. Web footer. Oh, don't worry. It'll keep on playing. I've got it on automatic repeat. And now, Mr. Hartford, in your honor, a little treat for all of us. Yogurt, wheat germ, blackstrap molasses. Pass the spoons and keep one. You're next. Help yourself.
light of the world.
Martha, how many times must I tell you? Shoulders back.
Yes, Lamont.
And breathe deeply. That's better.
Yes, Lamont. Lamont, listen. Birds.
Say, have some more blackstrap molasses, Mr. Hartford.
I'll go see who it is.
Oh, no, I wouldn't even think of it.
I insist. I love to answer doorbells.
Say, I'll turn the record over for you. The other side is even better.
So whoever it is, send them away, please. I don't want anyone else to see Dad in this terrible condition.
Oh, sure, I understand.
Thanks.
I'm here to see Mr. Albright.
Mr. Albright doesn't want to see anybody.
What? He can't do this to me.
Oh, he can't, eh?
I'm coming in.
You poor thing. Get him home and he'll sleep it off, I'm sure.
Well, that's the end of Honeywell and Todd as far as I'm concerned. Come on, Martha.
Yes, sir, Mr. Hartford, this is going to be a fine relationship. We have so much in common. Here, have some more wheat germ.
Wheat germ? Maybe now.
There was no mistake, Honeywell. I was thrown out. If I hadn't bumped into you downstairs, we'd be on our way to the airport right now.
Please, Mr. Hartford, you must have been on the wrong floor. This is Albright's apartment.
Oh, listen. More birds. Mr. Honeywell, you two, a shame.
Very good one as I ever heard of.
And that big cruiser doesn't belong in there. Come on, we'll get the police.
Oh, there you are. Come on now, let's talk about this contract.
Contract? Oh, contract.
Yes. Here, sit down.
Thank you.
Now, I know that you'll want to sign this, because with the money that we're putting into the business and your biscuit know-how, we'll boost your net $1 million a year.
$1 million a year?
Illusions of grandeur, very sad.
If you'll sign right here, I'm sure that you'll never regret it.
Sign right here, eh?
Yes.
Why, what name shall I use?
What name shall you use?
Yeah.
Well, just for a kick, why don't you use your own name, Lamont P. Hartford?
Lamont P. Hartford.
That's the man, officer. Arrest him. Now, just a minute. Mr. Honeywell, are you out of your mind?
Please, Dad, you mustn't get excited.
Mustn't get excited. This is Lamont P. Hartford. He's just about to sign his contract.
You're all crazy. I'm Lamont P. Hartford.
Lamont P. Hartford.
No, Dad, you're not crazy.
No, but it wouldn't be hard to get that way. If that's Lamont P. Hartford, who are those people?
Well, that's Luscious Lou and his wife, the famous wrestlers.
The very famous wrestler.
Well, what are they doing here?
They live here. They're the new tenants. We're moving.
Moving? I like it here.
But, Dad, we can't afford it. You're broke.
I'm what?
Broke, bankrupt, amalgamated merchandising. You lost your shirt.
Oh, Margie, that amalgamated deal, we got out of it 3 days ago. We didn't lose a cent.
He isn't crazy. He isn't even broke. It was all a mistake.
May I say something?
Oh, please do, Mr. Hartford.
Thanks for the yogurt. I'm leaving.
Now, Mr. Hartford, please. It's all a misunderstanding.
I don't do business with people who have me thrown out. Come on, Martha.
See what you've done now, Albright?
See what you've done now, Margie?
Please, Mr. Hartford, try to understand. I thought my father was broke, that his mind had snapped. So you see, it was all my fault that you were thrown out because I didn't want anybody to see Dad in his condition. And, oh, I know I've ruined everything, but I'd do it all over again for my father because I love him. And
My wonderful little boneheaded angel. You mean more to me than all the big money deals in the world.
Quite an act. Come on, Martha.
And I made you vice president.
I'll be right with you, Lamont. I forgot something.
honey, I think you were just wonderful doing all those fine things for your father. And don't you cry anymore. Everything's going to be all right.
All right. What's all right about losing a big deal like this?
Papa makes the dough, but Mama signs the checks. Just mail me the contract.
Oh, I'm so happy. Wait till Freddie hears how wonderfully everything... Freddie! Where's Freddie?
Freddie, are you all right? Dad, help me. Come on, Freddie, you can get up.
I can't. I'm stuck.
It's all over, Freddie. Everything turned out fine. Happy ending.
This is a happy ending?